One of the most important questions for chronic back pain is, should you go to the gym? In this video, we're going to answer that in a lot of depth. Before we get started with that, do myself and yourself a favor and subscribe to this channel, because you're going to see a lot of information about back pain that I promise you won't find anywhere. I figured a lot of this because I struggled with chronic back pain for more than 10 years. All of the doctors, all of the experts, they were pretty much useless. They didn't really do anything to help. And slowly but surely, piece by piece, I put together an approach that's really effective and finally helped me get rid of chronic back pain once and for all. For the past 2 years, I've been completely back pain free, and I'm pretty sure I can get most of you in that spot as well. So subscribe to this channel and let's get started. Now, the gym and back pain, it's a little bit of a complicated relationship. In general, you will want to aim towards going to the gym for reducing chronic back pain, and this is typically going to work, but there are a few important caveats here. First of all, if this is your first back pain episode or maybe your first injury, probably you shouldn't go to the gym, at least for a few days until you feel better. Also, if you got injured exactly in the gym, it's also a really good idea to take a few days off. Trust me, like, those gains are really not gonna go anywhere if you take a few days off to recover. And if your back's hurting and you've never been to the gym before, it's also probably not a great idea to start immediately at the gym. There are a few other steps you should take before starting with the gym. In most of these cases, you're probably gonna wanna start with the rehab exercises. These are light form exercises that you will usually be able to do at home. They don't really require a lot of equipment besides maybe a yoga mat, but you don't even need that one as well. It's completely optional. You can do most of these from the comfort of your home, and they're going to be easy. They are going to be also effective. It's kind of like getting you started, getting the ball rolling with healing. So you're essentially gonna start your healing journey with these lighter form of rehab exercises. But many people will typically find that while these exercises are a great starting point, they can only get you so far. You quickly hit a ceiling with them. First of all, if you've seen my other videos, you probably already know that chronic back pain may have a physical component, but there's also other, like, psychological and emotional components to this problem as well. And while you should address the other components, addressing the physical component is actually done by strengthening your back and the muscles in your core in general. In fact, all of your muscles it's really a good idea to be really balanced when it comes to, like, strengthening your muscles in your body. And to do that properly, usually the gym is a really good idea. There are a few other sports and activities that strengthen your entire body, but I think nothing really can rival the gym. It's probably the most convenient way for most people to get stronger in a gradual way. And once you start noticing that the rehab exercises, while beneficial, they're probably not gonna help you completely get rid of the pain, it's usually a good idea to upgrade your exercises. And no, this is still not the time for the gym, I believe. There is an intermediate step you should take in this moment, and that involves bodyweight exercises. I strongly believe that this gradual progression of starting with rehab and then with maybe like a little bit more effortful bodyweight exercises, and only then progressing to the gym, is the best way to go about it. So after you're done with all of the lightest forms of rehab exercises, progress with more like bodyweight exercises. This can be like bodyweight squats, maybe even the occasional push-ups, sit-up, crunches, working like the core a little bit. Maybe it's even a good idea to do a little bit more like calisthenics. Maybe try and do a few push-ups, pull-ups, chin-ups. All of these things are excellent here. And while you're doing these bodyweight exercises, it's also a good idea to still continue doing the rehab exercises as well. You're probably gonna find this combination to be really useful. And then after a few weeks of this sort of like rehab package, only then you should consider going back to the gym or starting with the gym if you've never done it before. It doesn't matter how much experience you have with the gym before, doing it like this in this gradual way is gonna make sure that you're really off to a great start. And I usually recommend starting with the empty bar. Focus on the compound movements. I found this to be the best approach. Focus on really building your core strength and actually going for strength a little bit more. Don't really worry about muscle size and volume and all of that. Try and build up a little bit of strength. This is going to be really useful. And for this, the squat and the deadlift are going to be the best exercises by far. You can also do a few of the other compound movements, maybe the barbell row, the bench press, the shoulder press. All of those can be great, but you really want to target like the core, essentially like the muscles around your spine. You really want them to get as strong as possible. And the key, the absolute key when you're going to the gym, when you're getting started, or even if you're going back and maybe you're starting with deloading, ideally with an empty bar again, even if you've had a lot of progress before and maybe you've moved a lot of weight, I actually really recommend starting with the empty bar and really focusing on perfect form. Just make sure you're executing the movement slowly, deliberately, and the form should be flawless. In fact, don't add any weight to the bar until you got the form down 100%. Chances are, if your injury is somehow related to something physical, especially in the gym, your form has been compromised. It has been less than ideal. And in that case, you should really get it fixed. And if you've never worked in the gym before, it's really critical you start progressing with proper form. If you start adding weights while your form is not ideal, you're not even gonna progress. You're just gonna increase the risk of injury more and more with every progression and with every new session. So to summarize, if you have back pain, the gym is usually a good idea, but first go through a little bit of rehab, a little bit of body weight exercises as well, and then when you go to the gym, make sure you focus on building strength through the primary compound movements and executing every single movement with perfect form. If you want to learn more about back pain, I have a free book that you should definitely check it out. The link to it is in the pinned comment or description. Completely for free. All of my years of experience are described in great detail in there. I think you're going to find it to be very valuable, and it's going to be a great resource in you healing your chronic back pain. And if you want to keep learning about chronic back pain, the video that's going to appear above me is going to be a great next resource to continue learning. I will see you there, and until next time, be brave.